I'm gonna read your story. Luke's Mission by Susan Beattie. Hi, my name is Luke. I'm a lucky dog because I have someone who loves me and takes really good care of me. But that's not how my life began. When I was very young, I was taken away from my mom, put in a box with my brother and sister, and left by the side of the road. Our owner didn't want us. I don't know what we did wrong, but I was really scared. We were there for a long time. Finally, a van stopped and a couple of ladies got out. They came over and picked us up, carried us back to their van. I felt really sick by then, cold and shaky. I kept coughing. One lady held me close and put water on my nose. She kept saying, "Hang in there, little guy." She told the driver that I might not make it. I coughed and shook. The van drove us to a veterinarian's office. The vet said I had parvovirus. I needed lots of medications, and I had to stay there for a while to recover. The lady promised that she'd come back for me when I was well and take me to a special place. I waited for a long time, slowly feeling better. I looked for the lady every day. One day, she came back. I was so happy to see her. She took me to an animal rescue organization where people come to adopt dogs like me so we can live in a forever home. She put me down and I looked around. There were dogs everywhere. She told me that my name was Luke and that this means bringer of light. People were friendly, it was warm, and the food was good. I felt better every day. One day, another nice lady came to see me. She'd come by once before and she liked me. This time, she brought a young man named Greg. He smiled when he saw me. He held me in his arms while she told him about me. I could tell he liked me too. I was so excited, I gave Greg a big lick on the face. I was hoping he'd take me home, and he did. Greg is a jeweler. On our first day together, he brought me to work at his jewelry store. He sat me on a big chair and told me that I could be his door greeter. My job was to stay in the open doorway and greet people. He showed me how to give a paw shake. I was afraid at first, but people were so nice. They would stop in just to pet my head or bring me treats. I liked my job. It was easy and I got to wear a red necktie. Greg's store is a busy place. People from all over the world come there to buy beautiful jewelry made with sparkling diamonds and other precious gemstones. Greg says the gems come from Mother Earth. He says there is a magical connection between humans, animals, and gemstones. People have been wearing jewelry in almost every culture and region of the world for thousands of years. Men, women, even children. Sometimes Greg's customers bring him artifacts to make into jewelry. One customer brought a gold shipwreck coin for Greg to make into a necklace. Another brought an heirloom gold pocket watch for Greg to sell. One even brought in for repair a diamond tiara worn by a real princess. Sometimes Greg's customers ask him about me. When Greg tells them my story, they tell him animal stories too. His customers talk about animals from other countries like pandas, tigers, snow leopards, and pangolins. Sometimes they talk about endangered animals that are being harmed by smugglers and traffickers. Hearing these stories made me wonder how I could help save the animals, like I was saved. They call this paying it forward, which is a nice thing to do. On our days off, Greg takes me to wildlife sanctuaries, zoos, aquariums, and state parks to camp and fish. We like to play, but sometimes I get into trouble. Greg says I'm impulsive because I eat things I shouldn't. I will sneak bites of his lunch or munch on his orchids. One day, I ate Greg's diamonds. Another time, I gobbled up all the roast beef at his party. He scolds me when I do these kinds of things. But then he says we all have lessons to learn as we grow up. My story doesn't end there. In fact, when it really began was the day Greg made me a special collar with a labradorite crystal. He picked this gem because I'm a Labrador retriever. He told me the stone gives the wearer, me, magical and mystical abilities, including psychic and time-traveling powers. I didn't know what all that meant at first, but I soon found out. My Labradorite collar is on me at all times. Now, whenever I hear a story about animals who need help, I can close my eyes tight and start spinning in circles. I can go really fast. And before I know it, my red tie becomes a bandana and I start time traveling to faraway places. I have traveled to other continents to help save animals all over the world. I've traveled by stagecoach, plane, train, ship, submarine, helicopter, airboat, seaplane, spaceship, and even in a hot air balloon. In my travels, I've met heroes young and old, humans who protect wildlife and domestic animals like dogs and cats. These people have helped me expose the bad guys who illegally hunt animals and ruin their habitats, driving species to extinction. This includes poachers and trappers in Africa who hunt elephants, zebras, giraffes, rhinos, lions, leopards, and cheetahs, and those in Europe and the Arctic who hunt seals, polar bears, whales, and the Arctic fox. I have helped human heroes rescue koalas and kangaroos from wildfires in Australia, where I assisted in finding the evil arsonists who light fires in forests. Together, we have been able to capture law-breaking loggers who cut down trees in the rainforests of South America, destroying the habitats of monkeys, sloths, toucans, parrots, flamingos, ocelots, and jaguars. I've even helped to save domestic animals and wildlife from hurricanes and floods. In the North American Everglades, I joined a special patrol team to capture Burmese pythons, huge non-native snakes that are killing native panthers, rabbits, raccoons, birds, otters, and deer. Since I live near the ocean, I'm especially passionate about protecting sea life and the coral reefs. So I encourage people to not throw garbage in the oceans, as this hurts many sea creatures like turtles, manatees, porpoises, and pelicans. I'm learning why biodiversity and sustainability are important and how we can all help. On my adventures, I have met indigenous peoples throughout the world, including the Seminoles of Florida, the Maasai of Kenya, the Kayapo of Brazil, the Aborigines of Australia, and the Inuit of the Arctic. I was able to learn their customs, traditions, and the symbols and meanings associated with their jewelry. These peoples teach their children to love and respect animals and Mother Earth. They understand that we are all responsible for the land, the sea, and the creatures that inhabit both, now and for generations to come. In my travels, I often learn about important people from the past. I've learned about early American settlers and brave world explorers, as well as long-dead authors, pilgrims, and pirates. I learned about Ernest Hemingway, Charles Dickens, Addison Mizner, Henry Flagler, Alligator Joe, and Trapper Nelson, as well as other famous people from history. One day, Greg and I visited a space center to watch a rocket launch. I learned about the solar system and was surprised to find out there were extraterrestrial space gemstones. These come from the meteorites and asteroids that have landed on planet Earth, diamonds from Jupiter, opals, and peridots from Mars. On an adventure later, I time-traveled to a diamond planet to save the most unusual creatures and their magical gemstones. On breaks from work, Greg and I like to take walks on the beach. One day, we found a shark's tooth in the sand, and Greg told me about a 6-inch long, prehistoric megalodon tooth somebody had found. He said ancient jewelry from primitive times was made from bits of bone, animal teeth, shells, and gleaming rocks. Later, I time-traveled to Pangaea to help save the animals of prehistoric times. When I'm not in the store greeting customers, fishing, or walking the beach with Greg, or are traveling on my adventures, I can be found in schools. I have met hundreds of children who want to learn about animal rescue and adoption, compassion for animals, and responsibility for all species and our planet. I especially like it when children read books about my adventures out loud. So that's my story. I believe every one of us can make a positive difference in life if given a chance. We can all leave a footprint, in my case a paw print, as a good example for others to follow. I'm a lucky dog, and a busy one. If you want, you may join me on my many exciting adventures as told in my 14-book series, Luke's Storybook Adventures. And that's it.